COVID tyrant has gone dead silent today. Dr. Anthony Fauci sat in front of the Senate and pled the fifth over 100 times, refusing to answer every question on his disastrous COVID response, even the easy ones.
What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color's the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
That's funny. But he also wouldn't answer the more serious ones.
Did you fund gain-of-function research in other biolabs around the world?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer.
Did you literally lie to your own diary?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer.
What does the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution say?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer.
Do you feel like you're in deep?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Oh, man, if he was any more full of crap, they'd serve him at Taco Bell. Fauci had lawyers to restrain him from his usual self-incriminating blather, including one who wouldn't shut up.
I said, sit quietly, you are not recognized. Another word and you're gone. Look, this is the way Anthony Fauci wants to be remembered, for a lawyer not listening to the rules. And that's what you're going to do. You are not recognized, sir. Security, please remove him from the room. Let the record state that Dr. Fauci will still have the advice of the other half a dozen attorneys that he brought along today.
Now, that's the kind of social distancing I could get behind. You know, Andrew, I think Hawley did something really, really smart. You can't invoke the Fifth Amendment on non-incriminating questions. Doesn't work that way. And he did that, like, in the serious ones that were non-incriminating, but even in the silly ones.
Yeah, when I went to culinary school, this was the first thing we covered in law class, was exactly that. So I agree with you. But could you imagine if somebody walked into my restaurant and they said, did you wash your hands? And I'm like, on the advice of counsel, right? You would not go to that restaurant. Every single husband in America, though, kind of understands where Fauci was coming there. Because, like, when my wife calls me, it's like, by the way, did you fold the laundry?
Hey. Under the Fifth Amendment, you should not.
Exactly. You get that. I'm looking for, right, because I'm kind of a sick person, so I'll always look for people who are supporting this guy just to painfully punish myself. And there's a few people out there, and they're like, you know, he's the most brilliant scientist. This guy is great. If you're that smart and you're the nation's top doctor and you're writing your own diary on a government server, you're not that smart. Like, we're going to see that, bud.
Yeah.
So I'm convinced he knew somehow. I don't know whether it was like a sick perversion, but the fact that he didn't know his diary that he wrote on a government server was going to end up in the public sphere makes me wonder.
Makes me wonder, Kat. What makes you wonder?
I kind of do want to know his skincare routine. Like, he's 85. This guy is he's such a liar. He ruined people's lives. He's being exposed for all of this, and yet he seems so unbothered by all of it.
Yeah.
He's somehow not letting the stress. If the stress is touching him, I can't see it.
Because he's 85.
But again, he's like, yeah,
I'm going to be dead soon.
What are you going to do? Who knows?
Joe Biden was like that. Remember, he said, I'm not going to be around here longer. He even said that. And it was like, that means all the decisions meant very little to him.
Yeah, but it's like he's in his mid-80s, and he's just like, yeah, well, I don't know. I think that at the very least, he could have told us what he does to manage stress.
Yeah, a little stress ball. You know, Tyrus, the media is really amazing in this. The CNN has relegated all of their coverage online.
Yeah, you see how that well's going for them.
Yeah.
CNN Plus is covering the exclusive on this one. I think the worst thing about it is you see his demeanor, and he's sitting there with his hands like this. Like, he couldn't be more of an evil or looking person. Like, this guy didn't care that people died. He ruined my life. I had to get shots that I didn't want to get. Otherwise, I couldn't work and take care of my family. I had to homeschool my kids. My two stepsons had no high school graduation, no dance, like no education, really. They were filling out schools were just passing. He ruined people's life, and that would come on TV every night and tell us, like, I don't understand. We had to work from home. People's parents died behind a glass.
Yep.
And this guy gets to sit like that. I get we're laughing at every time. We didn't need the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he said that the first time, put him in contempt.
Yeah.
Lawyer him up. Like, fine. The problem is the reason why, and he was so arrogant, Chef, that he was doing that stuff because they knew they had Trump beat. They were going to be doing this for the next 8 years. Joe was going to keep going. They were going to be able to do whatever they want. They just didn't expect the American people to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's why.
You know, while all this was happening to Tyrus and everybody else, he was having dinner with Jake Tapper, telling people to stay home on Thanksgiving, and he's having dinner with Jake Tapper. Don't you want to have dinner with Jake Tapper?
Yeah, I had dinner alone on Thanksgiving.
No, you were in a McDonald's.
That's true. There were other people.
Well, outside, that's where you do the exchange.
Because it is like funny, right? Like it's fun, but it's so much more infuriating than it is funny. And like that guy that got kicked out that was not recognized. I feel for that guy. I walk around New York City all the time not getting recognized. And it's really upsetting. I don't think the pardon should even count that he was given. Because towards the end of Biden's reign, like his family members would walk up to him and go, "Pardon me," and he would go, "Okay, sure, why not?" Also great, you ever notice that no one ever, people always plead the Fifth Amendment, but no one ever pleads other amendments.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No one's ever like, "I plead the Second," and then you shoot somebody.
A provocative idea.
I feel like it could be like a good Clint
I thought
Eastwood
they
line.
were doing that in Florida.
Yeah, they might be.
It's on the docket, but under the Fifth Amendment, I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, that's a definite Clint Eastwood line. You plead the Fifth? I'll plead the Sixth. All right.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.